Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Chtib Zhang Show, episode 59. Eric, in today's episode, we are talking UFC Fight Night, Johnny Walker versus Jamal Hill, and of course, other news in the NHL around the Montreal Canadiens. Tyler Toffoli getting traded to the Calgary Flames. More on that. But before we jump into the episode, as always, roll it! Welcome back to the Chtib Zhang Show, episode 59. Eric, like we said, or like I said, UFC Fight Night this Saturday. Johnny Walker versus Jamal Hill, and then talking a little Tyler Toffoli, trade to the Flames, and what else we can expect from the Montreal freaking overall sell-in at the deadline. But let's start in the UFC Fight Night. Johnny Walker, this is a light heavyweight matchup. A pretty good one, pretty interesting one. Johnny Walker has lost 3 of his last fights. He's kind of just, sledding down. And Jamal Hill, a nice little prospect, young prospect in the light heavyweight, currently 9-1-1. One of those losses, a no contest because he was actually tested for marijuana. And then that other loss was submission. He got his arm snapped. But now looking to increase his stock in the light heavyweight division, going up against Johnny Walker. I believe this is what 10 and 12 ranked fighters in the division. Johnny Walker still ranked 10th. Yeah. Lost 3 out of his 4. That goes to tell you what state the division is in if a guy's able to maintain top 10 status. But yeah, Johnny Walker coming off a loss versus Thiago Santos. I don't know if you remember that fight, Eric. A very boring fight.
Yes,
a lot of people called it a technical battle, whatever. Not typical of Johnny Walker, of his fighting style. He's a very explosive fighter, throws the flying knees, the front kicks, the spinning back fist. But has recently changed gyms. I think he's fighting where was it? An Irish gym, SBG Ireland or something like that. I forget it was. But his fighting stance now, after that Thiago Santos, it seems like it has changed a little. He's become a little more patient. Yeah, like I said, he's patient. He's taking his time with the fights. Maybe not the best way for him to change his fighting style. He's more of an explosive fighter. That's the Johnny Walker I like to see. But yeah, maybe this will be a slow fight. Nonetheless, Eric, Jamal Hall, guy has knockout power, explosive striker. I got him all day for this knockout TKO first, second. We'll get more into that. But yeah, I got Jamal Hill. I find Johnny Walker, his striking defense is very bad. He's going to take a lot of shots. He's going to eat a lot of shots. And that question about that chin, Eric, what do we know about that chin of Johnny Walker? He's been knocked out by Corey Anderson, knocked down by Rand Spann. He's got 3 knockout losses in his career, I think. But yeah, a lot of question marks on that chin. Eric, what do you like about these 2 fighters? Who do you like going into it? Who are you giving the edge to?
Okay, so
your analysis.
Okay, thanks. Good analysis, Chtib.
Yeah.
So, okay, for this fight, very interesting because on one side you have Hill, number 12 ranked, the favorite though, and then on the other hand, favorite, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah, Jamal is definitely the favorite. If this was 2 years ago, maybe Johnny Walker's the favorite, but a lot of time, 2 years, but yeah, it happened. So yeah, he is the underdog, Johnny Walker.
So yeah, the thing with Johnny Walker is it's like he's one of those Brazilian fighters, like kind of like Michel Pereira, where like what he does is very erotic fighting style, but people love to watch him, and he knows that, and like he doesn't mind getting knocked out. That there's nothing but other than last fight, but like usually he doesn't mind getting knocked out. So that's why people don't mind watching him fight, because either he's getting knocked out or he's knocking out someone. So that's the type of fighter that people like to follow. So last fight, people were expecting this huge fight, something like someone to get knocked out, or like Johnny
Barn
Walker
burner for sure.
But Johnny Walker took his time, fought his Brazilian friend in Thiago Santos. Very tactical fight. Nothing wrong with it. Obviously, he didn't win, but it showed that he can be a bit more technical. But the only thing that comes with technicality is that the fight's not as interesting, and it most of the time is boring, right? Because it's just tactical fighting. So for this fight, I don't know. It's hard because I've watched like 1 or 2 of Hill's fight. I've seen his knockout. I've read a bunch, and everyone's saying that Hill knockout power. Oh, he'll knock him out. He's he's knocking him out, and they're not giving really a chance to Johnny Walker. But as I know Johnny Walker better, I know what type of fighter he is. He's 6'6", fighting at 205. Like this guy's super tall. And so what I saw in the Ryan Spann fight, someone who got knocked out but just keeps going, even like just kind of like crazy fighting style.
Yeah.
If he can implement some of that and some tactical, I think he'd be a really good fighter. So honestly, if I give me Johnny Walker for this, I would take the underdog in this fight. But I don't know, man, because I feel like Hill's gonna try and knock him out, but Johnny Walker is gonna fight strategically
Yeah,
and try.
take his
I don't
time.
know, but I want to see Johnny Walker do something crazy.
Yeah, for the betting odds, Jamal Hill is under 275, the favorite. Johnny Walker is a plus 225.
Damn.
Jamal Hill, for those who don't know much about his fight, he hasn't, fought much. He's only 9-1-1, compared to 18-6 for Johnny Walker. He's an unorthodox fighter. He likes to fight southpaw. He likes to hit with his left hook a lot. He does a lot of body shots, which we saw against who was it that he fought last? I wrote it. Oh yeah, OSP of St. Pro. Body shots. He's great orthodox as well. He loves to switch up his stances, both stances. So he's pretty good with his combos with his when he's in southpaw with his left. But when he goes orthodox with his right, his left, he likes to mix up body, face shots, and he has knockout power without even having to load up there. And so, but his stamina not so good. He started to gas out in his only UFC fight that ever went 3 rounds. You could see he was wearing down. But I don't think that's going to be a problem this fight. I don't expect this fight to go the 5 rounds, Eric. I expect this to finish in the first or second. I think Johnny Walker is going to get knocked out. If he decides to go, fisticuffs standing with Jamal Hill, I don't think it's going to end well. For me, Johnny Walker, a good way for him to win this game, this fight, is probably to out grapple Jamal Hill, maybe take him to the ground because Hill's he's still a black belt, or I forget which belt he is in the BJJ, but I'm pretty sure his takedown defense was exposed against the likes of Paul Craig, which he lost. He had that man. He was on the ground. He was on top of him, but he got his arm exposed many times with the armbar. And then so Paul Craig got him on the armbar, I think dislocated his shoulder. And so he tapped, he didn't tap out actually, but he was getting knocked around. And so the ref called it. So I'd say it was like a submission / TKO in the round 1. But I don't expect this fight to go to the ground anytime soon. So I think Jamal Hill is going to get the cleared advantage striking wise. Johnny Walker's he's gone flat for me, Eric. I don't know. He started explosive, and then he lost to Corey Anderson, getting knocked out, and then Nikita Krylov, a decision. He just looked so flat. Just got taken to the ground. Couldn't do anything. Ryan Spann, he nearly got taken out in the first round again, but then he got a lucky, in my opinion, a lucky TKO knockout on him. He was kind of on top of. I don't know Ryan Spann what happened to him, but kind of just took the beating and then ended up losing. And then Thiago Santos, that was a boring ass fight. Everyone knows that. So I don't know, this flat patience kind of like style that he's switching to. Don't think it's going to work. I think Jamal Hall's going to be looking to press the guy, get him against the fence, and then that's where he does his work. That's where he did his work against OVP. Yeah. So that's the thing. I expect that OSP. Sorry. So I expect the same thing to happen in that. But let's go to some of the nice bets here that we have that I found. Mostly bet online. There's not a lot of player prop bets open right now, but I like Jamal Hill. But his knockout power, he's expected to win by knockout, which is fine, but it's not a great bet because it is projected. But for Hill to just win in the first round or second round, his bets are pretty nice. So for Jamal Hill to win in the round 1, it'd be plus 325. So that's a pretty good odd. Or round 2's plus 25. So if you're either think it's going to be a first round knockout, second round knockout, there's some pretty good odds there. However, Johnny Walker, I am taking Jamal Hill to win this fight, but Johnny Walker, like I was mentioning, the only way for him, for my eyes, for him to win this fight is maybe taking him to the ground, out grappling him. So there's maybe a chance for a submission there, maybe, but the odds I like it is plus 1,400 for Walker to win by submission. So that's an interesting bet in my opinion. But for Hill to win by TKO anytime, it's under 130. So there you go. The odds are
Okay.
really not there to make some money. So trying to find these different bets there that can make you some money. Under 1.5 rounds, over 1.5 rounds. Under is plus 205. Overs plus 172. So there's a chance to make money there. Don't think this fight's going to the distance. Either it's going to end in the first round or it's going to end in the second round. The problem with the 1.5 is that if you pick the under 1.5, you're projecting that it either finishes in the first round or it's going to finish at the midway point of the second round, which is a tough bet because it could end past that. It could end near the end of the second round. But those are just some bets. If you want to throw some money on either one of them, little money, you're going to make some money. But yeah, that's some interesting bets for me for those two. It's going to be an interesting fight night. This has a lot of weight, not so much weight in the light heavyweight division. A bit though. It's a bit of a slow division, light heavyweight in the UFC. Johnny Walker's on a losing streak, 3 of 4. This kind of reminds me of what's it, Kai Kara France versus Cody Garbrandt.
Cody Garbrandt. Yeah, but Johnny Walker was never at the level as
no,
as
Cody Garbrandt, but where he's like kind of dropping now, 3 of his last 4. He's lucky he's in the light heavyweight division because he's still ranked number 10. He's lost 3 of his last 4. Usually in any other division, that would drop you out of the top 10.
But don't forget, with the light heavyweights, there's not a lot of big names in there. So Johnny Walker's a recognizable name. People know who he is. The thing with Johnny Walker is he's 6'6" and he's just athletic. There's nothing else to it. Like, he's just athletic. That's all, So it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be, I don't know.
He does have the reach advantage, 82-inch reach. Jamal Hill, 79-inch reach. He does have the couple inches on him, the 1 inch or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
the only way he wins, the only way he wins is if he does what he did to Ryan Spann. Like, he's probably gonna get knocked down and get a lucky shot, and then get one lucky shot and just keep going.
Yeah, he's gonna have to jump on those lucky shots because I don't know, the Ryan Spann one just made no. I watched that fight over and it's like Ryan Spann's he's looking good. He knocks him down and then he goes at him or something. I don't know if he what's his name? Johnny Walker clipped him or something, but he drops basically going for a takedown. And then, he has the mount position on him. He starts hammering him and Ryan Spann can't get out of it. And basically the ref calls it. So I don't know. I don't know if I think Johnny Walker got lucky a little there. I'm not going to, say that was a game changing fight for him because then he fights Thiago Santos right after and just, I don't know what that fight was, but it wasn't boring. And both were expected to friggin', throw the fist, but they both didn't. And then Thiago Santos has the audacity, because his contract was up, to ask for more money at the end of the fight, which was pretty funny because he had a shit fight and he shouldn't be asking for more money. They'd be lucky he didn't get cut. But I like the unorthodox style, the southpaw style of Jamal Hill. It's unconventional for orthodox guys. It's hard for them to predict. He's good with his left hook. He's good with his right hook. He's just monster striker. I think he's averaging 7.2 strikes in a minute or something like that when he gets in close. So I'm going to go. This is going to be standing up unless Johnny Walker thinks he can get something on the ground with the grappling. But even then, I think Jamal Hill in the first or second round is going to come out explosive. And Johnny Walker better be prepared, man, because that chin, I'm telling you, if he gets clipped or something, it's going to be a short night. It's going to be sweet dreams for Johnny Walker, let me tell you. So, yeah, I like Jamal Hill. I'm going to take him to win this fight. I think he's under 275. So even if you bet 100, you're still not going to make back the money you put down. So try and look for those other bets. Bet online. Jamal Hill wins in round 1, plus 325. Round 2, plus 525. So those are some good bets. I wouldn't go with wins by TKO anytime. I'd go for a round, finishing in a round. That's where you can make your profits. So make sure to jump on that. And then Betway is offering the under 1.5. Too bad it's not 2.5. 2.5 would have been a great bet. I would have taken the under on 2.5. But the 1.5 is a bit tough because that midway point of the second is going to be your cutoff time. So, but I think it's going to be explosive. Round 1 or 2 for me. TKO, knockout, Jamal Hill for sure. That's it for the UFC fight night, Eric, unless you have more to talk about for those two.
But for the UFC, especially this is a fight night in the light heavyweight, definitely not the most entertaining.
No, I think this was supposed to be the Ros Anjos or Ros. It was was it RDA? I don't know if it was RDA, but it was a canceled fight. It was supposed to be anyway, it was canceled. And obviously, this one is
Mhm.
not as good as the pre-scheduled one, but we'll have to make do with the light heavyweight. It's gonna be
For
interesting.
sure.
Hey, if Johnny Walker, if he could surprise me, man,
Mhm.
it'd be fun to see. It's just I like Jamal Hill. He's a nice prospect in the light heavyweight.
Yeah.
I could definitely see him working on things, working on his ground game because he has the striking down.
Mhm.
He could be a dangerous striker in this division, one of the dangerous ones. So
Yeah.
look out
I
for
I
him.
I I don't want to look too much ahead, but I'm excited to talk about like Masvidal versus Covington soon for
Oh
sure.
yeah, it's UFC 272, 273.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kobe
We'll talk about that
Covington.
later. Yeah.
Those are going to be some great episodes. But
Yeah.
let's switch to the NHL, Eric.
Ooh,
We
okay.
haven't talked about the NHL in a while
No,
for good
yeah.
reason. Montreal Canadiens haven't done much. There isn't much to talk about. It's just waiting now. We're all waiting for news to break of trades and stuff. And oh, what do you know? One of the Montreal's successful signings by Bergevin,
Yeah. Very
Tyler
successful.
Toffoli, who signed for 4 years, 4.25, was led the team with 28 goals on that Stanley Cup miracle team there last year. And now this year, Montreal dead last. He's getting traded out of Montreal to the Calgary Flames, Eric. I kind of love this trade by the Flames.
Yeah.
Love it a lot for them. I like this trade for Montreal's end too.
Yeah.
I'm going to go more deep into it. So Montreal, Eric, the trade, they get a first round top 10 protected pick by Calgary. They get Emil Heineman, who was the main piece in the Sam Bennett deal, which happened last year. He was the main piece. It was him in a second round pick for Sam Bennett, basically a 2023 fifth round pick. And Tyler Pitlick. Look at that. We're stacking up on the Pitlicks, Eric. He got injured in his first shift of the preseason, so hasn't really been able to fit in the depth pieces for the Flames. So he's kind of been on the scratch, not playing. So they get him. They reunite him with his cousins, Eric, Rem and Rhett Pitlick. We're actually going to win the cup with the Pitlick brothers. Let me tell you, it's going to be a dynasty. Just them and Tyler Pitlick. Screw Suzuki second line. Put Tyler Pitlick first line center. Just fill that line. I don't even know what his cousin Rhett Pitlick, if he's a defenseman or forward, but Rem Pitlick doing fine well in Montreal as well. He's doing pretty good. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. The Pitlick brothers, because Rhett Pitlick is a fifth round, and I think anyway, if he can develop and get these three on the same team, no, we'll see. That's just making a joke and never happened. Tyler Pitlick is on an expiring deal, and he will be out of Montreal after this season's end. It's just a money thing, just to retain some salary from Montreal's end. And yeah, the Flames, they get Tyler Toffoli, who still has 2 years left on a very reasonable 4.25, a bargain of a deal. Let me tell you. So kudos to Bergeron, but he's gone now in LA enjoying the sun, so screw him. But no, Flames, Eric second in the Pacific with 58 points. They are 26, 13, and 6. Brad Treliving, Eric, I'm actually going to quote him. He was talking about having to do his job, how the players have done their job. It's time that I do mine. That was what he said after he made the trade for Tyler Toffoli. They sit second in the Pacific, right behind Vegas, I believe now. And yeah, Daryl Sutter, Eric, is going to get a very valuable piece back, one that he helped coach and develop immensely in LA, when Toffoli won the cups there, and so, or in 2014. And so now, like Toffoli, what he knows Milan Lucic. I think he said he knows like 10 guys on the team. Jacob Markstrom, his time in Vancouver. So a big thing about for the Flames, why I love this deal so much, Eric, is the chemistry they're getting back. This is a guy who's in LA, great locker room guy, comes to Vancouver. He's a great fit there. And in Montreal, especially with the young guys. So this is a great locker room guy. And the Flames, there's a lot of players there he knows, like I mentioned. So it's just great fit, in my opinion, for Tyler Toffoli. Looking at the line projections, they have him playing on the third line with Dylan Dubé, Sean Monahan, who he played with in junior college, or was it college? Junior? I think junior he played with. Yeah, junior. Played with Sean Monahan, and he's projected on the third line, which is interesting. Second power play unit. Flames are extremely deep now, Eric. I don't know if Tyler Toffoli might jump on that second line with Backlund if they flip Coleman and him, but right now, that third line, get some chemistry back with Monahan, get him going, maybe Sean Monahan, who's kind of dropped off the wagon so far in his career, Eric.
Yeah. Hard.
But yeah, Tyler Toffoli, great addition, 20 something, 25 goal scorer. He's going to provide some great depth for the Flames, who now, Eric, Brad Trelevin said they're all in. This is the year. He's
Yep.
going for the cup, so expect more deals. Furthermore, from the Flames, Toffoli's might just not the end of it. Might just be the start of the
Mhm.
Flames stacking up for a good cup run here. But Montreal, they got a first round pick in a stacked draft class there, stacked 2022 draft class, top 10 protected, whatever. Flames are not going to drop into the top 10. Emil Heineman is kind of the main prospect we get back. I was kind of shocked if I saw this at first, and I saw Emil Heineman as a second round pick, and I was kind of thinking, wow, they couldn't get Zary or Peltier or anyone like that from for Tyler Toffoli, excuse me. But Emil Heineman, he's projected to be a fringe top 6, maybe a top 9 player. It's just time will have to tell how he develops here in Montreal. We know the developing players aspect of our management hasn't been our strong point, but they've completely revamped the management. So hopefully he can turn into a solid depth piece for us if he makes it to the makes it to the NHL and to the big leagues. Hopefully he can be a top 6 guy. That would be a huge for what we just gave up. But yeah, 5th round pick. This is where I was like, I kind of like a first Emil Heineman, and I thought maybe we could get like a 2nd round pick at least back, a 3rd maybe. I was looking at an Anthony Mantha trade similar, Jacob Verana, Richard Panik.
Yeah.
They got a 2020 first and a 2022 second. And they're close in age, Anthony Mantha and Tyler Toffoli. I know, Mantha might have a little more to offer with his size. But Tyler Toffoli is a great penalty killer. He's a great scorer, great power play guy. So I don't know. I just thought maybe they could switch that 5th for a 2nd or 3rd, especially since our prospect is kind of a we'll see type prospect, time will tell type prospect. And so, but a great trade overall. Both teams, that's what's going on in the news. It's just a great trade for both teams. That I have to agree with. But Montreal, they're going to be stacking up on first round picks. They got 2 right now, technically 3. One of them's going to Arizona for the Dvorak trade, which isn't looking so good now. But anyway, you got 2. You got your top lottery pick that you have right now because you're last place, and you have this pick now with the Flames. You're going to get a first round pick with Ben Sherratt, right? So you're going to have 3 picks. And then Mike Hoffman, you should be able, if you decide to trade him, you should be able to go for a first round pick too, because his deal is not very similar to Tyler Toffoli's, and he's one of the elite scorers on the power play. Mike Hoffman, basically over the last 5 years, Mike Hoffman's got to be up there in goal scoring. So you can get like 4 first round picks now in this year's draft. Who knows what Lehkonen gives you? Definitely, probably not a first round pick, but some good pieces back, and maybe even Jeff Petrie. If you retain some salary, there's news that teams are interested in Petrie if the salary is retained. Montreal's not going to be competing for a few years now, so what Petrie has 3 years left, something like that. Retain the salary, you can trade Petrie away, potentially 5 first round picks, Eric. In this year. That'd be special. That'd be definitely that's Kent Hughes' job for sure. Looking to trade those guys, and at this point, like sentimental value, Tyler Toffoli, it hurts seeing him get traded.
No, it hurts, but okay. The thing how I see this trade is Tyler Toffoli right now, he has value, right? And he's actually having a pretty decent season, and he's already 29 years old, right? And last year he did what he did. He got his goals, but realistically, he deserves to be on a contender, right? He's that type of player. Like you don't want him playing on a not a garbage team, but a team that's not going to do at bottom of the league right now.
Yeah.
So trade Tyler Toffoli probably wanted, like, he wouldn't mind getting traded. Obviously, a great locker room guy. You saw what Cole Caulfield said, like he was super sad and everything. But great locker room guy. Always been a really good player. Always been able to score, but with the goal scoring, so he's a little inconsistent with the goal scoring.
He's a streaky player sometimes.
He's a streaky player.
He's a proven goal scorer.
Yeah, he's a proven goal scorer, but very streaky. Doesn't get too many assists, but does score, right? So the thing with that type of player is you want that type of player in the playoffs. You don't want that guy in the regular season. You want those guys.
I would love that guy in the regular season. I would love Tyler Toffoli in the regular season.
There,
scored 28 goals for us.
Okay, yeah, fair. But don't forget the year before, like he's very like. Let's say he's not someone I draft in fantasy.
Okay, fantasy is completely different. He's a great player. Great player.
No, he's a really good player. He's always he got 30 goals 6 years ago now, but whatever. But yeah, so the thing with Montreal now is I feel like this starts the beginning of the rebuild, right? So they have a bunch of players that are like in the 26 to 30 range, 30 something range, right? So, but the good players, right? Like as you said, Hoffman, Dvorak. I don't know if they trade, probably Dvorak, right?
I don't know. Anyone's Toffoli, available.
Josh Anderson, right?
He's not getting traded.
Yeah, he's not getting. He has Well, but the thing with Lekkinen is I heard a lot of teams are actually interested in Lekkinen
That's
just
why
because.
he's gonna have to get traded.
But
Because
his value is super high, and there's no point
that's
for
why
him
you
to
have to
stay in
trade him.
Montreal.
That's why.
Exactly. So
He's a great player. He's a great defensive player. Imagine him like with the Rangers, man, on the penalty kill with him with Barclay Goudreau. He could play
exactly.
third line. He's great with 5-on-5 puck possession. If you look at
Yeah.
his Corsi stats, he's great in the zone with puck possession. So, liking on the Rangers is a perfect fit for me. It's just a matter of when. And yeah, he's a guy who can get you value, maybe a pick, a third, and a prospect. Maybe depending on what the bidding price and teams asking, it could increase. We'll see.
But the thing is, now that Bergeron is gone, and I feel like Bergeron had this connection to Price, right? Where he like, because Price was there and he's the one that signed Price, he was like, I'm not rebuilding, like I'm going for it. And even during free agency, right? You guys made to the finals, and then he was like, okay, we're good enough to be a contender again. But realistically, if you really, really think about it, Montreal is gonna be like obviously Price if Price didn't get injured, maybe, but you guys were gonna be like you guys weren't gonna be at the top of the standings. You guys were gonna have to battle to make the playoffs, realistically. So now that Price is injured, Bergevin is gone, Hughes comes in, and I think doing a rebuild is pretty smart. Just trading all your assets away. It's the only realistic, because you guys have so many good pieces right now and on pretty decent contracts. So I say just trade everything away, get some pieces. But the thing in Montreal, it's hard to do a rebuild in Montreal though, because the fans are so passionate and they want to see their team win.
That's your point. That you're basically making a point about why Bergevin signed all those players in the offseason, right? David Savard, when Shea Weber went down, and teams were like, well, what's Bergevin going to do? Like, our team is in shambles right now. Well, he goes down and gets Mike Hoffman, David Savard. He picks up depth pieces in Mathieu Perreault and Paquette. And, I didn't expect, because we would have been a team fighting for playoffs, man. We were a team during our cup run fighting for the playoffs in that North Division. Man. We were the 4th seed to get in, and Calgary was did Calgary make it, or it was, what was it?
No, Calgary, Edmonton, Winnipeg, Toronto.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, and Calgary was like on our tail, was the last team behind us, and Vancouver was out of it long ago. But yeah. So they were a team that struggled for the playoffs. They got hot at the right time, and then Shea Weber goes down with an injury, and then Carey Price is out, and then you're thinking, wow, this team's going to struggle at first. And Joel Edmondson is out, and and then Jeff Petrie has this terrible season, and then Gallagher gets injured, our whole team gets injured in shambles. But like, it's hard, you can criticize the David Savard contract now. It looks terrible. At the time, I thought it kind of made sense at the time. I'm not David Savard, but going out and getting a top D-man. Ken Hughes mentioned that, he's done signing these stay-at-home D-men like Savard, Alzner, and stuff like that. He's going to get fast defenseman players who can move the puck. So David Savard is probably the last contract we'll see by a defenseman who gets that type of contract and salary to play with the Montreal Canadiens. But it's just, So Bergevin had to make some moves. You can't say you're committing to a rebuild. And then Ken Hughes is basically saying, and Jeff Gordon saying, we're going to commit to a rebuild. The fans are on board. Everyone's on board right now. We're dead last. We're going to get a top pick. It's time to get those picks. It's a deep draft class, right? It's very deep, very it's a good one. So you got to get these picks. You got to load up on them. And then if you can get like 4 of them, man, that'd be crazy at the trade deadline. Trade Sherrod away. He's going to get you a first round pick, right? Exactly. Jeff Petrie, depending on how they do it, he'll get you a first round pick too.
Because I like the new culture in Montreal, like the fact that they went out and got Martin St. Louis too, right, as a coach. We didn't really talk about it yet, but the fact that like they reconstructed the whole team. Now that they got Martin St. Louis, Ducharme wasn't a bad coach, right? He's the one that
he just lost the locker room.
Yeah, he lost the locker room, and he knew he was gonna, like, everyone knew he was gonna get fired at the end of the season. But it was getting embarrassing. Yeah, like I know what you're mentioning, that like Jeff Gordon said he'd stay coach the rest of the year, and then but like these 7-1 losses, just too embarrassing to watch. It's like these guys are going out there and they're not even playing good hockey, and so you just got to get a new voice in there. Martin St. Louis, Ken Hughes said that he would like think outside the box when picking his next head coach, and this is definitely outside the box. I'm pretty sure his coach, I think his U13 team that he was coaching, Ken Hughes maybe had a son. I'm not sure what it was, but they were linked somehow. We know Jack Hughes is going to get drafted this year.
So,
Yeah.
but not.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know how the two were linked. But anyway, the
Yes.
U13
Yes.
team
Yes.
and him. I
Yeah.
forget what it was.
No, it
Someone
wasn't
on his
the. I
team.
think it was Martin St. Louis. Uh, I think his other son or
Oh yeah, Marcio Louis has a son that
yeah.
or something like yeah that play on the
They were
same
like
team. You're right.
yeah.
Northeastern,
Yeah.
Jack
Northeastern.
Hughes, Eric. Does Kent Hughes draft his son Jack Hughes this year? Picking with those 4 draft picks, he's expected to go 26. Not really. Like I don't know. I looked at his draft, his scouting analysis, and it says he's not going to excel in any parts of the game really, but he's a
Yeah.
responsible, smart player. But we'll see. That'd be funny. But also you can't be conflicted, can't have emotion,
Yeah.
can't be
No.
emotional picking draft picks, and it can't
Oh,
be,
definitely not.
that'd be bad. Does he pick his son? I don't know. That'd be because then you like if he doesn't pan out, you're like, well, he picked him because he's his son and screwed us anyway.
Yeah.
That'd be funny though. But yeah, Montreal's going to stack up here on draft picks, draft capital. We're definitely going to have another episode about the trade deadline, which is in
Oh, for
March.
sure.
And,
Yeah.
by then we'll see who gets traded. But there'll be a lot more trades talking about Montreal in the future and stuff like that. But yeah, they're going to be, it's going to be interesting because there's guys who, you might not expect get traded and boom, they're gone. Tyler Toffoli is one of them. I didn't expect him to get traded this year or, it was going to be closer to the deadline, like a deadline day deal. But he gets traded. Jeff Petrie would be an interesting one. Don't expect him to get traded, but you'd be surprised what teams are willing to pay. If you shed some salary off, I could still see Jeff Petrie going for a first round pick. I know he's having a terrible offensive season, but man, he's a proven 40-point guy,
Oh yeah.
top 4 minutes. It's just that he's struggled with the amount of pressure and him having to step up. Edmondson's down, Weber's down, Ben Sherratt has been inconsistent, right? The whole team's been inconsistent, so that's led to him being inconsistent, very inconsistent. And so it's going to be interesting. It's going to be really interesting. A lot of players that have been here for a few years now could get traded. Even Gallagher might.
That'd be
Gallagher getting
sad.
traded. I mean, that'd be sad. I'd be surprised too. But man, do some of these guys want to stick around for the rebuild? I'm not sure they do. And Gallagher's contract is very hard to move now, 6.25 when he's injured and playing inconsistent. But again, teams will be interested for sure. But yeah, I love the trade for both squads. And it's gonna be interesting. I like the Flames. I love that trade by the Flames. And Flames, man, they look good. That's a good top
Oh
9
yeah.
unit that they have. And maybe we see them going after Ben Sherratt. Hey, they're Flames decor. They lost Giordano.
Yeah.
Ryan Leslie of Sportsnet, who covers the Flames. He talked about that idea of maybe going for Ben Sherratt. He said, listen, there's a lot of guys here who are blossoming, having career years. I don't know. Brad Treliving's going to want to tinker with that. We'll see. But yeah, maybe they could add some depth pieces. Who knows? Maybe Sherratt would have been involved in this deal if he hadn't been injured. It's gonna be interesting to see for sure. But yeah, that has been this episode of the Chtib Zhang Show. Thank you for listening on Spotify or watching here on YouTube with us. And we'll definitely talk to you guys in the next episode 60 next week. So stay tuned for that. And we'll see you then. Roll the outro.